is Vivek Srivastav sir, and I am here with History Chapter 2, and the topic to discuss today, that is the Russian Revolution. In this topic we are going to discuss the Russian Empire in 1940, and the second topic, economy and society. Okay, so beta, let us start. In one of the least industrial of European states, this situation was reversed. Socialists took over the government in Russia through the October Revolution in 1917. It means in 1917, in Russia there was a revolution where the socialists took over the government. It means they controlled the government. Okay. The fall of monarchy in February 1917 and the events of October are normally called the Russian Revolution. Okay. It means the events that was done or worked in 1917 of October and February of 1917. These are known as the Russian Revolutions. So the topic that to be discussed, what was the condition at that time? It means the Russian Empire in 1914. What was the main reason of this revolution? We have to discuss in this video. Okay. In 1914, Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia and its empire. It means in 1914 the empire was Nicholas II. Besides the territory around Moscow, the Russian Empire included current-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. It means the Russian Empire was distributed in small territories. Okay. So it stretched to the Pacific and comprised to the Central Asian states. It means it was stretched to the Pacific Ocean, okay, and to the up to the Central Asian states, as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. It means at that time that parts were also the part of that Russian state. Okay. The majority of the Greek Orthodox Church, but the empire who also included Catholic, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. It means at that time the majority was the Russian Orthodox community. It means the majority was in the hand of Russian Orthodox communities, but the Greek Orthodox Church and included Catholic, Protestant, and Muslims and Buddhists were also included there. Okay, so that was the empire in 1914. Okay, now the topic that to be discussed, that is economy and society. So what was the economy and society at that time? Let us know about this. At the beginning of 20th century, the vast majority of Russia's people were agriculturists. It means the maximum person that were in Russia were the agriculture, were the farmer. About 85% of the Russian Empire's population earned their living from agriculture. It means almost or about 85% persons were dependent on the agriculture and farming. This proportion was higher than in most European countries. It means that proportion, you know about proportion, ratio and proportion you have taught about in mathematics. So that proportion, it means the अनुपात, okay, जो ये अनुपात था ये और देशों की तुलना में ज़्यादा था in Russia. Okay. So for instance, in France and Germany the population was between 20% and 50%. It means अगर हम तुलना करते हैं फ्रांस और जर्मनी से, तो फ्रांस में 40% लोग एग्रीकल्चर करते थे और जर्मनी में 50% लोग एग्रीकल्चर करते थे, राइट, खेती करते थे। इन द एम्पायर कल्टिवेटर्स प्रोड्यूस्ड फॉर द मार्केट एज वेल एज फॉर देयर ओन नीड्स एंड रशिया वाज अ मेजर exporter of grain. It means they depend on agriculture for their own needs and for their livelihood also, and they trade, export grains. They export grains to the other countries. So industry was found in pockets. Prominent industrialists were Saint Petersburg and Moscow. Saint Petersburg and Moscow were the hub at that time. That was industry's hub. Okay. So craftsmen undertook much of the production, but large factories existed alongside craft works. Long industries, long factories. That was craftsmen. You know about craftsmen? They do the small works. Little small work done from the home, that is known as the craft. But when the start of factories, okay, many factories were set up in 1890. It means in 1890 many factories were set up when Russia's railway network was extended. It means in 1890 the Russian railways extended, okay, developed. The foreign investment in industry increased. Coal production doubled, and iron and steel output quadrupled. By 1900, in some areas, factory workers and craftsmen were alongside equal in number. It means factory workers and the craftsmen were alongside. It means of the same in number. Okay. Almost same in the number. Most industries was private property of industrialists. It means the maximum industries were the private properties at that time for the industries mans. Okay. So government supervised larger factory to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. Government supervised large factories to ensure minimum wages, and they provide minimum wages, not maximum, minimum. Okay, and the limited hours of work. They have limited hours like 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours. So in craft units and small workshops, the working day was sometimes 15 hours compared with 10 to 12 hours in the factories. It means being a craftsman, they have to work 15 hours, and when they were working in a factory, that was only 10 to 12 hours. Accommodation varied from rooms to dormitories. Okay, dormitories. Workers were divided into social groups. Some had strong links with the villages from which they came. Okay, workers had the strong links with their villages. Others had settled in cities permanently. Workers were divided by skill. A metal worker of St. Petersburg recalled, metal workers considered themselves aristocrats among other workers. Their occupation demand more training and skill. It means the metal work, you have to be very skilled. Okay, and if you have skill, then you will be demanded. Women made 31% of the factory labor force by 1914, but they were paid less than men, between half and 3/4 of man wages. The work done in the factories was about 31% by the female candidate. Okay, 31% female candidate works in the factories. But what about the salary? What about the wages? They get 50% of the men salary are 3 by 4. Either he get 50% of the men salary or 3 by 4 of the men salary at that time. So divisions among workers showed associations to help members in time of unemployment or financial hardship, but such associations were few. There were some associations that worked for same salary. They fought for unemployment, but that was few in numbers only. Despite divisions, workers did unite to strike work. Strike means not no work or stop work, no need to work. That is known as strike. When they disagreed with the employers about dismissals of work condition. Dismissals are work condition. It means if any employee dismissed or the conditions of working changed at that time, they go to the strike. So these strikes took place frequently in the textile industry during 1896 to 1897. It means this strike became growing up between 1896 to 1897 and the metal industry during 1902. In the countryside, peasants cultivated most of the land. In the countryside, it means in rural areas, the peasants cultivated most of the land, but the nobility, the crown and the Orthodox Church owned large property. Like workers, peasants too were divided. They were also deeply religious. They were also, it means peasants were also deeply religious. They have faith in God. But expect in a few cases, they have to respect to the nobility. In few cases, they have to respect to the nobility also. Nobles get their power and position through their services to the Tsar, not through local popularity. It means nobles got their power and position with the help of their king. This was unlike France, where it was not in as in France. During the French Revolution in Brittany, peasants respected nobles and fought for them. In Russian Revolution, the peasants respected to the nobles and fought for them. They fight with them and with the help. In Russia, peasants wanted the land of nobles to given to them. Frequently, they refused to pay rent and even murdered landlords. In Russia, they refused to pay the taxes and pay the rent, and they murdered the landlords. In 1902, this occurred on a large scale in South Russia, and in 1905, such incidents took place all over the Russia. That was the start of Russian Revolution at the time, and this revolution take a part in the complete Russia day by day. So beta, that is all for the today's video, and I will be there with some new topic. I think that will be related to the socialism in Russia, and that is all for today. Keep watching my videos, and that's all for today. Have a nice day.